addition, we would understand pituitary gland. This gland is also known as the master gland. Where it is located? You are correct. It is located in the brain. So here in the brain, we have the pituitary gland responsible for most of the hormones. Now, this pituitary gland is an interesting gland. Why? Because it is first of all the size of a pea seed, a very small gland, but still the master of all, and therefore called as the master gland of the body. It secretes topical hormones. Tropical hormones are those hormones, these topical hormones actually are the hormones that go and send signals to other endocrine glands. For example, there would be signals to thyroid, there would be signals to gonads to release certain hormones, and therefore they are known as the topical hormone. So these tropic hormones target or send a signal where they send a signal to anterior pituitary. We'll understand in a while what is it. So let's move here. What is this? You are correct. This is an image of a brain. So we have cerebrum, which is the outer region. This is the brain stem, and this is the region of cerebellum. Now, what I do is I just move this brain. Now when I am moving this brain, we are diving into what's inside the brain. So inside the brain, we have the corpus callosum. Now definitely that goes into detail when we have studied our structure of brain and the anatomy of brain. But to understand, this region here is the region which is the pituitary. So pituitary is located here, and this is the master gland. As you can see, small pea-sized structure. Now let me elaborate it and create it in a bigger picture. So this is the bigger picture of the same pituitary gland. Now this pituitary gland, as you can see, has three structures. What are those? Those are the anterior pituitary, the anterior lobe as it is called as, intermediate lobe, and the posterior lobe. What is the difference? Anterior, what is in the front? Posterior, what is in the back? And intermediate between the two. So three lobes: anterior, posterior, and intermediate. All of these three release major hormones. Posterior releases two major hormones. Intermediate releases one major hormone. Anterior releases six major hormones. So 6 for anterior, 1 for intermediate, and 2 for posterior, that we would understand. So let's talk about the simplest one, that is the intermediate lobe. So as you can see here, within this pituitary, we have the intermediate lobe, which is located between the posterior and the anterior. Now this intermediate lobe secretes MSH. MSH is melanocyte stimulating hormone. Melanocyte stimulating hormone controls the secretion of melanocyte in the skin. Okay, so this is by the intermediate lobe. Just one important hormone that you need to know. MSH, melanocyte, I'll write here, melanocyte stimulating hormone. Okay, the next important one is understanding the anterior and the posterior hormones. So here, as I said, the front part is the anterior, the back portion is the posterior. Anterior is towards the front, posterior is towards the back. So let's begin with the anterior pituitary. 6 important hormones: GH, TSH, FSH, LH, PRL, and ACTH. Let's understand these one by one. The first one is growth hormone, GH. This growth hormone is also known as somatotropic hormone. Somatotropic hormone is responsible for growth in the body. If this is in hyposecretion, it can lead to dwarfism, small people. If it is in youth secretion, it can lead to gigantism, that is huge people. Okay, so that is the growth hormone, dwarfism due to hyposecretion, and gigantism due to hypersecretion. The next is TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Thyroid stimulating hormone hormone is also known as thyrotropic hormone. Thyrotropic hormone controls the growth and the functioning of thyroid and therefore stimulates the production of thyroxine in the body, and therefore it is governed by the pituitary, and so we call pituitary as the master gland. So pituitary controls the thyroid gland secretes the thyroid stimulating thyroxine, which is the release factor of it, and this is done through the pituitary, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. The next is the FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Now in males it is responsible for formation of sperm by the process of spermatogenesis. In females it is responsible for maturation of ovarian follicles. The next is ACTH. ACTH is adrenal-corticotropic hormone. This is responsible for growth and development of adrenal cortex. Now adrenal cortex is adrenal gland, the two glands above the two kidneys, the cap-shaped structure as we know, and these are responsible or answerable to pituitary. So ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone released, which governs the growth and development of adrenal cortex, and it stimulates the release of glucocorticoids, mineralocorticoids, and if the secretions are less, they can lead to what? They can lead to Addison disease. Addison disease characterized by bronzy skin. So, ACTH, the adrenal glands, the adrenal cortex gland controlled by anterior pituitary. The next is LH, luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone is a hormone which in males is responsible for secretion of testosterone and the secondary sexual characters. However, in female it is responsible for the secretion of progesterone and also for the ovulation. So both FSH and LH are gonads, so gonad hormones as they are called as. The next is PRL, prolactin. Prolactin is the lectinogenic hormone, and this is responsible for the mammary glands during the pregnancy and even after the childbirth. The next is the posterior pituitary. Posterior pituitary, again two important glands. One is ADH, the next is oxytocin. ADH is antidiuretic hormone. It is also known as vasopressin. Vasopressin or antidiuretic. Now antidiuretic, that means it controls the reabsorption of water from the glomerular filtrate in the kidneys. And antidiuretic, so diuretic means higher amount of urine, antidiuretic means reduced amount of urine. So this causes contraction of the small arteries, increasing the blood pressure and reducing the amount of urine. So higher blood pressure, lower amount of urine by ADH or antidiuretic hormone. Hyposecretions of ADH, very important to note, can lead to a condition which is known as diabetes insipidus. Now, important to note that diabetes insipidus is different from diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus is caused by the hyposecretions of insulin. However, here hyposecretions of ADH can lead to diabetes insipidus, and this is a condition when the amount of urine is excess, but this is without sugar. There is no sugar found in urine. However, in diabetes mellitus, sugar is present in urine or glucose is present in urine. In diabetes insipidus, no sugar is present in urine. So, no sugar in urine, very important, and this is not a condition of diabetes mellitus. Now, hypersecretion of ADH, as I mentioned, can lead to higher arterial pressure or higher blood pressure. So, if the amount of ADH is high, it would lead to higher blood pressures. The next is oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is an important hormone which is responsible for contraction of uterus during the time of childbirth, and therefore it is also known as the birth hormone. Oxytocin is an important hormone because it is also responsible for expulsion of milk. So those two are the hormones which are released by posterior pituitary. To repeat again, anterior pituitary we have the topical hormones. Topical hormones are those hormones that govern other endocrine glands like thyroid, adrenal cortex and gonads, as we have understood. Then we have the posterior pituitary where ADH and oxytocin are there. In the intermediate we have melatonin, and in the anterior pituitary we have the growth hormone FSH, LH, PRL, then you have ECTH and TSH as the major hormones in the anterior pituitary. So that was about the pituitary glands and a quick summary of the various hormones released by pituitary.